learners, welcome back for part 2 of week 11. You're going to need a notebook and a pen or a pencil. I'm going to be using my reading notebook and a pen. Please feel free to pause at any time so that you can write down anything that I write in my notebook. Ready to continue the lesson? Let's go on to word 3. Word 3 is reasonable. Reasonable. Have you heard that word before? Do you know what it means? Let's write it in our notebook. See if I can get it. There we go. Reasonable. R-E-A-S-O-N-A-B-L-E. Reasonable. Something that is fair and makes sense is reasonable. Something that is fair and makes sense is reasonable. There. Reasonable. Something that is fair and makes sense is reasonable. All right, let's take a look at this word in a sentence to deepen our understanding. The produce prices at the farmer's market are more reasonable than supermarket prices. So, we should be able to replace reasonable with fair or make sense. The produce prices at the farmer's market are more fair than the supermarket prices. So in this case, we're saying that the prices are lower and makes more sense than at the supermarket prices. All right. Now I want you to number your paper 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to judge whether or not something is reasonable. If something I say is reasonable, you put a check. If it is not reasonable, you put an X. Okay. Number 1, eat only dessert. Eat only dessert. A check if that is reasonable, an X if it is not. Number 2, to keep an elephant as a pet. Keep an elephant as a pet. Number 3, sleep only 2 hours each night. Sleep only 2 hours each night. Number 4, wear a warm jacket in the winter. Wear a warm jacket in the winter. And number 5, eat a good breakfast before school. Eat a good breakfast before school. Let's go over the answers. Number 1, eat only dessert. While it might sound like a good idea, sounds like a delicious idea, it is not reasonable to eat only dessert. I'm going to have to give it an X. Your body needs more nutrients than what dessert can give you. Number 2, keep an elephant as a pet. I don't know how much different your house is than mine, but I definitely don't have the room to keep an elephant as a pet, so I'm going to put an X for that one. You might be able to keep an elephant at a zoo, but you don't want to keep one in your house as a pet. Number 3, sleep only 2 hours each night. Now, my scholars, remember, I'm not asking if it's possible or if it would be fun to do so. We're asking if it is reasonable. If I only had 2 hours of sleep, I would be a cranky person and I wouldn't be able to get much done. It is not reasonable to only get 2 hours of sleep each night. It's not healthy either. Number 4, wear a warm jacket in the wintertime. Well, if it's winter, it's probably cold. It is reasonable to wear a warm jacket when it is cold in wintertime. Number 4, eat a good breakfast before school. Well, when I forget to eat breakfast, I get so hungry. Sometimes I get a headache or a stomach ache and it's hard to focus. It is definitely reasonable to eat a good breakfast before school. It keeps you healthy, it keeps you focused, and it is just a good idea. It makes sense to eat breakfast before school. All right, it's time for our writing prompt, and this one's a little bit lengthy. So I'm going to put it on the screen so you can read it. Maybe you want to pause it if you learn better that way, if it makes it easier for you to write. Tell about a time when someone asked you to do something that was reasonable. Then think of a time when someone expected you something that was not reasonable. What did you do? So this is a three-part question. The first part. I was once asked to tell me about the event, and it was reasonable. One time I was asked to unload the dishwasher, and it was reasonable. Now you have to tell me about something that was not reasonable. I was once asked to fly to the moon. I don't know. Think of something. And it was not reasonable. So tell me about something you did that was reasonable, or that was asked of you and was reasonable. And then tell me of something that was not reasonable that was asked of you and what you did. Again, it's a lengthy writing prompt. Please feel free to pause if you need more time to write. Otherwise, I'm going to just move right along into our fourth word. Our fourth word is anticipate. Anticipate. Have you heard that word before? Do you know what it means? Let's go ahead and write it in our notebook. See if I can get it to fit. All right. Anticipate. A-N-T-I-C-I-P-A-T-E. Anticipate. If you anticipate something, you expect it to happen and are prepared for it. If you anticipate something, oops, my camera went funny. So sorry. There we go. If you anticipate something, comma, you expect it to happen and are prepared for it. All right. Let's take a look at this word in the sentence to deepen our understanding of it. Anticipate. The weather forecast said to anticipate a storm, so we got our rain gear ready. So when we anticipate, we prepare for it. We can expect it to happen and prepare for it. So if there's a storm coming, we want to get ready for it. The weather forecast said to get ready for a storm, so we got our rain gear ready. Now I want you to number your paper 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if this is an event you would want to anticipate, you would want to expect and be ready for it, be prepared for it, you're going to give me a check. If it's something you don't really have to prepare for, you can just give me an X. Okay? Number 1, a power outage. Do you want to anticipate a power outage? Check or next. Number 2, the daily mail delivery. The daily mail delivery. Number 3, a difficult spelling test. A difficult spelling test. Number 4, your cousin's annual visit. Your cousin's annual visit. Number 5, a flood of a nearby river. A flood of a nearby river. Let's go over the answers. Number 1, a power outage. I would like to anticipate a power outage. If the power goes out, I would like to have candles or flashlights ready. I want to be prepared for it. Number 2, the daily mail delivery. The daily mail delivery. If it's the regular mail, I don't need to anticipate that. It's not like it's a package or something important. It's usually just bills. Number 3, a difficult spelling test. If you care about your grades, you would want to anticipate it. You would want a chance to prepare for it and study. Number 4, your cousin's annual visit. Your cousin only comes once a year. They're probably really fun. I don't like when people just randomly show up. I would like to anticipate it. I would like to get their room ready, have a plan of things to do. And then number 5, a flood of a nearby river. Floods can be dangerous. So it's really important to anticipate and prepare for a flood so that everyone can be safe. Now it's time for our writing prompt. What is something you anticipate each year? What is something that you expect and prepare for each year, and how do you get ready for it? If you need a writing prompt, here it is. Every year, I anticipate blank, fill it in. Period at the end. We get ready for by. Okay. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed week 11. And if you'd like to, whatever you anticipate, you can leave me a comment to tell me. But otherwise, I will see you next week for week 11.